Hey everyone, in today's video I'm going to show you my milling process on how I take rough lumber to perfect square lumber that I use for kitchen cabinets and furniture. Also at the end of the video I'm going to show you a cost breakdown on finished hardwood from the big box store versus purchasing rough lumber and milling it yourself with the proper machinery. Let's get into it. To start the process, I always bring the boards to the miter station to cut them to rough length. I cut off an end just to trim it down. If you don't do this, you may miss something or see it later on where there's a crack that runs down the board. This way you can clearly see. I use my my Torrent tool cart, to bring all the wood to the jointer. Here you can see me jointing some 8-inch boards that are just wider than the 6-inch jointer. If you didn't know you could do that, it does work. For the sake of this video, I won't be showing that process on how to do that. You can go check out a different video that I have that shows you how to do it. I run the boards to get a smooth face. Next I move to the planer, using the face we just jointed face down as a reference to make the opposite face smooth as well. Now this did take a few passes, but take as many as you need to get it to your desired thickness. After that's all done, back to the jointer, using either side as a reference to get a straight edge. I'll usually take about a 1/16 of an inch per pass, depending on the material I'm working with. Here I'm using maple. I took about a 1/16 of an inch off. Using the handy tool cart again, the Torrent tool cart, I bring the lumber to the table saw. Since I am using these pieces for a kitchen build, after I go to the table saw, set my width to my rails and stiles, which was 2 3/8 of an inch, and I begin ripping the boards. And that sums up the process of milling rough lumber to finished lumber, ready for cabinetry, furniture, whatever your project needs. So now that I've showed you how to mill rough lumber, we're going to go through a price comparison, comparing finished lumber from the big box store to rough lumber purchased at a local supplier. So we have a little chart here. So we're going to go with maple, as that was the wood that I just used to finish my recent project. From my supplier, I pay $4.20 per board foot, and from the big box store, locally I looked at the price for a 1x6x8, which is 4 board feet, went for $15.45 a board foot. Yes, a very big difference. So for my project, I purchased 70 board feet, which was $294 in rough lumber, and that equivalent at a big box store would be $1,081.50. Do the math on those numbers. $1,081.50 subtract $294 is in excess of $787.50. Now in my situation, I often go pick up 50 to 100 board feet at a time. The big tools like the jointer and planer, they pay for themselves very quickly. It may be different for your situation if you're only going to get a few board feet at a time. The example I gave was for our kitchen build, and it basically paid for one of the tools that I have here in the shop, either the jointer or the planer, as they were both roughly the same cost. Milling the lumber took approximately 4 hours, and at a rate of $30 an hour, the net would still be over $600. There is also a third option, and that is finding a shop locally, whether it be a rough lumber supplier or a cabinet shop. They can mill the wood for you, and it will be a lot less expensive than what you would find at the big box store. Hopefully this gave you some insight on your situation, if you can justify it or not. Thanks for watching the video. Let me know your thoughts and what your strategy is. God bless, and go build something.